This past July, I decided to commit to becoming a game dev. I have already committed to becoming a streamer, and I'm working on my YouTube channel in the meantime as well. The real thing that I want to do is make games. I want to make experiences for people. I want to design fun little ways for people to spend their time, important stories that could be told. I want to make something that people will truly enjoy and have a lot of fun with. So I've decided that game dev is the way for me to go. I came across this channel, this YouTube channel called Louis De Simone Game Dev. He offered this plan, this year-long plan for game dev, and August was the first month of me following that plan, and it involved creating 4 games, one each week. Check him out. I left his link in the description. Yeah, so I'm following his plan, spending this time during this month focusing on games and trying to build one game for every week. It was a little rough. I didn't completely follow through with the plan because I only published 2 of the 4 games. I'll link you to the games below. They're not good games. I'm not saying they're good games, and that was never the point anyway. But they're free, so if you really wanted to play them, there you go. Enjoy. Well, these were the 3 most important lessons I think I came out of this month with. One is that scale is important. That was actually something that Lewis talked about anyway. He talked a lot about how the point of this month was actually to get a grasp on scale. So all scale means in this regard is, like, how long will it actually take you to make something? Can you actually do something within a certain amount of time? You know, given your resources, given whatever you have available to you. Having a week to do a full polished game is it's kind of rough. Part of the reason why I actually only published 2 of the 4 games, the other 2 I plan on doing as more of like mini projects that he recommends doing for September, October. So keep an eye out for those, because those will be more serious games I'll be working on. In September will be a cookie clicker, and in October will be the best 2D side scroller that I can muster, given a month and 2 weeks. The 2 weeks being the 2 weeks I spent on side scrollers in August. So keep an eye out for that. The second most important thing I learned during this time was that game making is actually not that hard. It's just time consuming, and it's confusing if you're not organized. I'm admittedly not the most organized person, but don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It isn't to say that these things on their own aren't difficult, because yeah, being organized and having the time to do things is difficult on its own. But I do feel that coding has this sort of kind of like barrier where, like, the common man, so to speak, kind of use it as like, oh, well, that's a tech thing. That's kind of above my pay grade. That's above my understanding. I'm not smart enough for that. But really, it's not that hard. It's a matter of organizing everything so that it's all simplistic. It's a matter of organizing it all so that it is clean and clear and, well, just well organized. It's just so that you can look at your code and say, well, okay, I know what this does because it has proper names and made sure that everything's organized properly and in its proper script or in its proper object, depending on how you're organizing it all. But yeah, so the hard part of game development really isn't the coding. It's just making sure that all of your code is organized. Once you understand the concepts behind why you're coding certain things, ways that you need to, that's what it boils down to. And so there's a learning curve just to make sure that you learn the various ways that you can utilize the language and understand that. But once you've gotten that down, that's not the hard part. The hard part is making sure it's all organized and clear and explainable. The third thing that I learned from this was that time management is more about scheduling and having a plan than it is about just making it happen. I've read and watched a lot of self-help books, and it's kind of a cliche from people who, I mean, maybe they mean well, maybe they don't, but it doesn't seem like some people understand that some people just don't have schedules where they can just make it happen. You kind of have to be smart about it. You kind of have to plan ahead, and you have to be aware of you have to be aware of your own traps that you can possibly fall into. So if the secret isn't just making it happen, in my opinion, at the very least, the starting point is pretty simple, which is to just spend the time ahead of time assessing what you need to get done, and then to remember that a plan isn't a prison. So with a week to make a single game, you have to decide what the action plan looks like ahead of time. What are you going to do on Friday? What are you going to do on Saturday? What are you going to do on Sunday? Etc., etc., etc. And then execute on that plan. But let's say Sunday rolls around and your plan was to add the audio and there's just no time, or where you're working is loud, or where you're working is loud for various reasons. And, you know, if it's loud, then maybe you can't record the audio that day, so maybe you'll have to pivot. So it's just important to remember that a plan is not a prison. So have a plan ahead of time. Have an idea of what you can and can't do ahead of time, and keep it real simple and break it down into micro little tasks. But otherwise, just be able to pivot. Like, if you can't, a lot of people I used to work with, they were very bad about being able to pivot in the moment. And, you know, they would probably argue that I was always pivoting and just pivoting too much. And that's a fair take. That's fair criticism of me. But without the plan and without the ability to pivot, you're going to get stuck inside of either the plan being a prison, or you're going to be pivoting too much and not capable of working ahead of time so that you're not, trying to play catch up in the moment. I'm really excited for September. September is going to be a zoomed in version of one of the week projects that I did not publish. It's going to be my focus on the cookie clicker game that I made using this tutorial. So if that's something you guys want, leave me a comment down below and just let me know. It'll be free. It'll be posted on itch. Nothing to worry about in that regard. And as always, hey, consider leaving a sub, consider leaving a like. I'm going to be doing some more of these along with more videos that I have planned. If you're at all interested in my channel, I do reviews, I do live streams, I do stupid little videos that I want to make. I just post whatever I'm interested in, really is what it boils down to at the end of the day. Thanks.